I got to know, what happened when he guarded him? Who won?
He made me better.
Did he?
Yeah, we used to go, when he first got into New England, they would bring in Aqib, and they wanted to see where he was, what he could do. We talked about this on our podcast, Games with Names. And so after practice for, I want to say 8 weeks, I was designated to run routes on him one-on-one after practice. And, a lot of early, he got me, but, I learned him. And, when you go against someone so much, someone who's especially very instinctive like him, I'm an instinctive player. I can manipulate those instincts sometimes. So I think we got each other both a handful of times.
Of course. Great
agree?
matchups. Yeah.
It's just, Aqib just likes to squat. He just likes to squat on that route.
You got to take me up top.
And then you just got to go. You got to get on his toes.
But I think Bill used to try to just really make me get in shape. Like, you're going to do some extra shit versus Jules after. Jules could go all day. Me and TJ was talking about this shit. He like a machine.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, don't get tired. So it wasn't nothing for him to go after practice and get 12 more routes. But Bill wanted me to be in that playoff type shape. You ain't never been in New England, so we got to be ready to play late in the season. So I think he was really just getting me in shape. So Jules got me better too, man. Just, working against the slot. I probably never went in the slot in Tampa. He was going to have me following guys, going to the slot, going everywhere. So he was just getting me ready, man. Great battles, baby.
That wouldn't be the player I went without him.
So you won more than he won?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
To sum it all up, Skip. Oh, yeah, for sure.
He may have won more.
Yeah.
But the last time we went up against each other, I had his number. I don't think I missed a route.
Yeah, he was cooking. He was cooking in the Super Bowl. You know what he was doing? Everything was outbreaking. That was one of them game plans. They everything in breaking. We got to the Super Bowl, they outbreaking.
Y'all remember the 3rd and 10s against Kansas City. If you guys remember it, they remember it. So we just tagged everything off that and broke it out.
Yep. They just switched it all up. So.
And that goes into an instinctive player, an instinctive guy. Some guys are over instinct.
Yep.
So if you know they're going to study the game plan, you could run a route on them, and you just run that same exact stem and get him at that top, and you can get him going the other way because he's been watching that all week. So that was a fun example of that.
So
it was great.
Before we go, Kinsey, quick early first take story. This is back in the summer of, what was your first summer? 2009. So you played a Thursday night preseason game. I think you played several, but it was maybe the last one. And we had a first take meeting at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut that Friday morning, 7:30 a.m. And I walk in just gushing about this little guy for the Patriots. And the producer at the time, whose name I will not speak publicly, said, well, wait a second. You're talking about that little white guy, the quarterback from Kent State? I said, he's just electric. He's returning punts. He's playing in the slot.
Going crazy.
He said, he won't make the team. I said, yes, he will. They will find a spot for him. And they all thought I was just crazy. And the rest is NFL history, because I wouldn't have thought at that moment you were going to be a Super Bowl MVP. But man, you came from a long way away to pull this off.
Well, I appreciate that. And to your credit, that receiver room when I got in there was pretty stacked.
It was.
They trade for Greg Lewis, who was a really great football player for the Philadelphia Eagles. They bring in Joey Galloway, who was older, but could still run.
Oh, God.
You got Wes, you got Randy Moss, you got Sam Aiken, who's a special teams captain. So it was already a pretty crammed room. So it was a long shot. It was definitely a long shot.
You're a 7th round quarterback in college. Had you played any receiver at all?
I have not. I had not. I was a running back in Pop Warner, so I always had field vision. I knew how to run the football. Late in my career at Kent, I returned 2 punts because we weren't going to make anything. We weren't going to make a bowl game. And at that time, I went up to my coach. I was like, I don't want to go try to get drafted or something. And Coach Martin, Doug Martin at the time, said, hey, we'll throw you back there, return a punt. Returned 1 punt, didn't get anything. And that was kind of my whole college career. It was mostly quarterback.
Yeah, and my big point about you early was you were just absolutely fearless, which you had to be to make it.
I know we ain't talking about my dog yet, but only a guy like Bill find a diamond in the rough like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Only a guy like
I
he
feel
don't
like
get credit for that kind of shit.
I know, but he found Bill. I mean, it's like he wouldn't let Bill ignore him, man.
But I mean, everybody else ain't bring him in. 7th round, like Bill brought him in, punch wide out. I see his movement.
Yeah.
He could play in the slot for us. He like West.
Well,
he got better movement than him. Like
they worked me out 3 times. So coming out for the draft, they first brought over Ivan Fears. They thought I was going to be a 3rd down running back.
Oh, wow.
Because I was very hard to bring down in college. And once Ivan saw I could run routes, they sent out Scotty O'Brien, Chatty O, receiver coach and the special teams coordinator to see if I could catch punts. And so that was kind of like, they didn't know what I was going to play, but they knew I could play football. And getting to that point, going to New England was the best thing to happen to me because, like you said, you know, I was a tough football player. I had a lot of tough football players to learn from.
Yeah.
Watching Wes Welker, watching, you know, Teddy Bruschi late in his career, Kevin Falk later in his career. There were so many guys that, like, if you weren't given that kind of effort or fearlessness, you were never going to see the field. So that's kind of the environment bringing me up to what I wanted to be. I think if that makes sense.
Hell yeah. See, Bill don't get credit. See, Skip thinks Bill is just a product of time. So I just got to show him. Sometimes I got to show him the shit that Bill did. Like, Bill don't get credit for that. Like, he put that shit together. Motherfucker, like, Gronk. Who knew Gronk in college? We didn't know who the fuck he was. Greatest time.
Hey, everybody knows Gronk.
Like, bro, we ain't.
He just had back problems.
Exactly. But he wasn't going crazy. Like, come on, bro.
I think he was an All-American freshman.
He was like that at Arizona.
But motherfuckers gonna say he was gonna be the best. When you saw he was gonna be the best of all time, why he wasn't the top 12
we always
pick
talk about
then?
when you in the NFL, it's kind of
He didn't play his sophomore year.
Exactly.
And then he went out his junior. He didn't play his junior year either, so there was a huge red flag.
So it take a genius to say he gonna be the best tight end ever. I'm
and I
gonna
agree,
him for the
like-
low, and
But also-
re-sign him early.
But you got to go to this. When you have 3 Super Bowls and you have a system in place, you can take risks on guys like Rob, on guys like me, because you have Tom Brady and you have a system in place where, you know, a coach that's coming in and he's got to change things right away. He just got the team. He can't take a chance on me. He needs a guy that can come in and play right away. You know what I mean? So that's the almost the unfairness of having a system in play when you're in the league, I think.
And to Akeem's point, I get what you're saying, though. When you get to that, maybe not 2nd, but 3rd round and beyond, like the 1st round's easy. These are the top 30
Easy
players.
work.
I'm picking these guys. You can't go wrong. A lot of these
That's
guys,
easy.
you know, even though they don't pan out always, but a lot of these guys, at least you're not going to get shit for drafting them. When you get to those mid to late round guys, that's when the strategy comes into place, and a lot of hit or misses in those late rounds.
yeah.
So I do give Bill a lot of credit for that.
Akeem, Tom had to keep telling Bill, I want this guy.
how
Well,
you
he
think
did.
it went.
Well, he did.
That's how you think it went.
No, I know, because Tom is saying, I can work with that. Like,
Tom had Moss, West. He just told you everybody who was in Tom.
that might be
Tom
tough.
won't worry about you.
Yeah.
You know
I had to make some plays
But-
on special teams.
yeah, and guess
listen.
what? His rookie year, he started 7 games in that group. In that big receiver room, you started 7 games. That's incredible.
Did I start 7?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Wes got hurt week 2 against
Yeah.
the Jets. That's when I had 10 for like 100, my first game. And then,
Then Tom was like, okay, I can fuck with bro.
no, but it was hard to gain his trust.
You're set on that.
So, like, I still didn't have his trust when Wes got back into the lineup. So once he came back, I got kind of shuffled into the mix, went back to special teams, and then Wes tore his ACL in Houston, the last game of the season. And he had like 130, he had like 125 catches or something. And we couldn't do anything with a win or loss. But Wes was out there playing, tore his ACL on the first drive, and then I balled out a little bit in that and in the playoff game. But my next 2 years, I only had 7 catches. You know what I mean? So like it was one of those things where, yeah, Tom was probably he saw I could play, but I still had to earn my seat at the table time in and time again at practice, in games, and that took me some years.
Yeah, I understand. But in the end, how many choice routes did you run for Tom Brady? You know, because that's what
all they ran.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's. But he's got to be able to trust that he's making the correct choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes to me playing quarterback. That I think that transition
absolutely.
helped me. I knew the field. I knew spatial awareness.
Yeah.
I knew quarterback's pet peeves, getting, flat to downhill on in cuts, cutting off the angles on out cuts, protecting throw. I knew all that stuff. So, that's why he was comfortable with throwing to me and the zone stuff. But it took me a long time to learn how to use my body and run a route off a guy. That's like dancing. You gotta feel it. When he moves, you gotta manipulate that move. You gotta reset the stem. And it took me a lot of time to figure that out. I was always gifted with the ball in my hand, and I always thought to myself, if I could treat running routes like it was with the ball in my hand, I'd be better, but it took me some time to get there.
Yeah, and you did make Tom look pretty good in the fourth quarter of that Atlanta comeback Super Bowl, right?
Hey,
One of the greatest catches ever.
Ever.
There was a lot of great plays. Malcolm Mitchell, for a rookie, went in and made some huge stopper routes, the 20-yard stopper routes. Hogan had a big play.
He did.
Amendola had a huge play. James White had
a running back. Yep.
Yeah, I think he had 15 catches.
Yep.
So I mean, it goes to, the team. The best team won that day. The best team won that day.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to have Julian on the rest of the show.
All right,
so
let's
let's get right
Yeah.
into it. And obviously, you guys know he spent 12 years with the Patriots. So, of course, we got to talk about that.